Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another video from me. And this is going to be the first of hopefully many others. I have, like I did the video showing I have a Discord server, and on my Discord server there is a channel for discussing other people's video game ideas if they would so choose to in that channel. And Pinky Don is a member of my Discord server and linked to this Discus, I guess you'd say blog post that they did about a crossover between Mario and Pokemon. So I'm going to go over their post. Because obviously it's a 3-month-old post. I'm going to go over their post, make my own little suggestions here and there about what I think can be what other ways they can do some stuff, because I've read over this already, but I actually like this idea a lot. Like, it's really good to me because I see the potential in it. So I discussed it on the Discord server with Pinky Don already. They said that they were cool with me doing this. If I do these, I'm not taking over somebody's stuff and claiming it as my own. I'm giving them credit. It's just I'm doing the video about it because, again, I like this idea. I love this idea, and to me, and they do talk about two different ways it could be done. So, for me, looking at it, I'm like, that would be pretty cool. But without further ado, I'm going to get into the actual, the actual post that they presented. Crossover idea video games. See, but I keep telling you, I'm not the only person that comes up with video game ideas, and I'm not the only person that can come up with good ones. So, but I looked at this, and I'm just gonna go ahead. Okay. So I'll read it out, even though you guys don't need me to, but I'll read it out. I was long overdue for a new entry of my dream crossover game series, and today's idea has been on my mind for years now. This is another crossover between two Nintendo IPs that I wish could collab in game form one day that isn't Smash. And trust me, I agree with that sentiment wholly. Mario cross Pokemon. And then you have the Pikachu with the Mario with the Mario overalls on, and then I like this though. The recreation is actually pretty good. I'm not worried about it. It'll just be at the bottom of the screen. I'm not signed in, but I don't feel like signing in right now. These are two of the highest selling IPs in the gaming industry, so it surprises that the two have yet to make a proper game collab yet. I have two different ideas on how this could work out, but the plot is basically the same. Bowser enslaves Pokemon in their world and plans to use them to build his army, and it's up to Mario and company to stop him. The first idea would be a platformer game that's more akin to Super Mario 3D Land or World. It'll be a 4-player game featuring Mario, Luigi, Pikachu, and Eevee, each of them having their own abilities, running around the Pokemon world. The enemies are a mixture of your typical Mario enemies and the enslaved Pokemon. There are 8 worlds in total, and they each end with a large Pokemon like Gyarados or Heatran as the main boss, and you end up saving a mythical Pokemon. I said mystical, a mythical Pokemon like Mew or Diancie. I've never pronounced that one right. And like 3D World, Land or World, you face Bowser 3 times, with the third encounter having you deal with both him and Arceus, or is it Arceus? I think it's Arceus. And and yes, there will be secret worlds post game, though I'm debating if they should involve in-game legendaries like Zygarde or Ultra Beast as bonus bosses. Okay, for this first paragraph that right here, this first one, I like this. I like the whole thing going in there. But instead of it being 8 worlds, they would be called worlds in-game. Instead of calling them worlds, just make them, I don't want to say regions, because you have Johto and Kanto and all that is regions. But if you pick a specific region, instead of calling them 8 worlds, just call it the towns, the 8 towns of the game. Like, for example, if we're going back to like the first Pokemon game, like red, blue, green, because it was green in Japan, what we would do basically is you start off in Kanto, like damn, I can't remember the names of all the cities. Like, but say you ended up in Viridian City, for example. Viridian City is one world set. Viridian City is one world map set where you're playing different stages, and each of the different stages looks like, you know, a different area, a different like building or the street inside Viridian City. That's the type of thing I was thinking about. Like, and I'm pretty sure that's what the direction is that you were headed mentally. Like, but in the terms that it is currently, I don't think a whole lot of people would pick up on that. That's why I'm explaining it myself. Like, that to me would make a whole lot of sense. And then for like the 8th area, it could be the Indigo Plateau, like where you do basically the Indigo Plateau, and then you have a series of boss rushes for stages that lead up to taking on Bowser and the final legendary Pokemon that you have to face with him. Like that, honestly, that'd be pretty cool. Like that's the type of stuff I think would actually be pretty interesting, and it would make for some really fun but weird things to go on at the same time. And again, I'm thinking that's where your mind was. Like, but in the wording, it's not saying that, so that's why I'm explaining it. At least from my perspective, that's what I think you meant, and I wholeheartedly agree with that notion, because that would be cool as hell. And yeah. So, like, yeah, like if you're going to do the game having additional world stuff like 3D Land does, then yeah, I would say do Kanto as the first region, and then do somewhere like Alola as the second region, and just redo the same stuff all over again. But then you add in additional characters, like say Peach or Daisy or somebody, but like just other characters that are in the Mario franchise as playable characters, and a couple other Pokemon, like I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on all these Pokemon names. I know all of them for the most part, like, but you know, whatever. Like I was about to say Torchic, but I don't know if Torchic would make a good. I mean, I guess it depends on how you would set it up. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot that can be done is with that setup. Is all I'm thinking about. Okay, so let's move on to the second part. The second idea would be an RPG game that's more akin to the mainline Pokemon games. However, it'll have to take place in an original region. Actually, I think that, like, if we're doing this, if we're like what your first idea was, sounded more like putting the Mario gameplay in the Pokemon universe. So for this one, I would think you actually would probably be better to do it the opposite way. You go ahead and put the Pokemon gameplay in the Mario universe, where you're traversing the Mushroom Kingdom and you're like collecting Pokemon and stuff like that, as well as finding allies that can help you. Like that's just a quick quip I wanted to make. However, you'll only play as its main trainer, either male or female, while Mario and Co will serve as supporting roles like sparring matches. The gameplay will be the same, catching and raising your Pokemon through turn-based combat. Since this is a crossover, there will be no new Pokemon added. Like, thank goodness. Like, that roster is already huge into the region's Dex roster. However, what sets it apart is the ability to encounter and battle Mario enemies in typical wild Pokemon locations, tall grass, caves, oceans, etc. Unlike Pokemon, they cannot be captured. Well, yeah, that would be... Like, yeah, we don't need a Goomba and a Pokeball. But they will still have EV points for your Pokemon to gain. Like, and I think that would be something to be interesting. Like, just follow me here. If Pokemon, like wild Pokemon, gave you experience points that would level up your Pokemon, and taking on Mario characters would give you like a different type of points. Like you said, like the EV points. I'm trying to think, would that be evolution points? Like, let the Mario enemies give you a different set of points. That I guess that could be used to augment your Pokemon's moves. Like, say you want to give your Pokemon more PP for an attack, like you use some of your EV points for that, or if you want to boost their stats or something somewhere outside of leveling up, like say you want to boost their special defense or their attack, like stuff like that, or give them a resistance to a type of attack that they're not usually resistant to, or something that they're usually weak to, something that's kind of flexible and versatile, like because it would kind of suit the whole Mario universe interaction anyway, because the weaknesses and stuff don't apply to Mario's universe, but they would still apply to the Pokemon directly. So you'd have a way to buff your Pokemon against things that they're weak to. Wait, that would actually be really cool. I'd love to see something like that. Okay, these Koopalings will serve as the game's gym leaders. Okay. They don't have to, you can still have the whole Mario world set up where you're going through the 8 different worlds, and have, instead of in place of gyms, you'd have the mini castle and the big castle for the worlds. So the mini castles would be like a underling for the Koopalings, and then the main castles themselves, you take on each Koopaling and beat them and move forward. Like, you, instead of getting gym badges, you get like a magical item that will let you get to the next world. So you're cut off from the other worlds until you beat the Koopaling there, and then you get the magical item that will allow you to move forward to the next area. Like, it's just a quick explanation. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. It doesn't have to be extremely heavy. But I think that works. And along with getting the magical item that will allow you to move on to the next area, you're also rescuing a member of the Mario cast. Like Mario himself being one of the ones that you have to rescue. And that'd actually make Mario the first person you actually rescue. That's my thoughts. I'm like I would do that because it would actually be pretty cool to me. But I'm saying, these are just things that are popping into my head as I'm reading through this, and this is what happened while I was reading it the first time. Except they'll be controlling one city instead of city or world, with your goal being to free them after defeating one of them. Well, to free it after defeating them. In between the gym leader cities, you'll be facing Bowser Jr., who serves as your rival for the game, which, that makes a lot of sense. Large Mario bosses like Peter Piranha, Gooper Blooper, who will serve as the game's totem Pokemon. Okay, yeah, I can see that. There are a total of 8 bosses, with Bowser having to be won 3 times. Yeah, that can work again. And then, for the World 8, the situation could be very similar to the Indigo Plateau. But instead of you just having basically a boss rush of battles, you still have that, but each boss has their own section that kind of mimics the world that they were in before. So it'd be repeating, going through the Koopalings. But I think at this point you'd have to make it 9 worlds instead of just 8. That way, when you get to the final world, you're taking on everyone all over again with their own small armies and stuff like that. Again, this is my own thoughts. Somebody can say whether that they agree with that. But I think that would actually give to the game, and make it a little bit more interesting. 3 times. The third time you face him has him being a massive giant, and it happens after you defeat this game's Elite Four, who are Mario enemies not big enough to serve as large bosses like Kamek, and after you beat him, serving as the champion in a fair Pokemon battle. Like all mainline Pokemon games, there will be post-game content allowing you to capture legendaries, enter a battle facility, properly face gym leaders, and win a Pokemon League run by Mario characters, of course. That would actually be pretty cool. All the Mario characters that you saved afterwards actually open up their own gyms and stuff like that, and you have to go through and beat them and get their badges and stuff, and do a whole other Elite Four, just as post game content. That would be really interesting. So, how likely this crossover will happen? Say 50-50, because Pokemon's in a bizarre spot when it comes to Nintendo characters and licensed products. Pokemon gets its own separate license. It does get its own separate licensing, And outside of Smash Bros. And Mario Maker, you rarely see Pokemon grouped together with Mario, Zelda, and Kirby, who have crossed over each other's games in the past. In the present, like, yeah, through cameos and other little things and stuff like that. But like, you could even include Metroid in that, because Samus ended up, I don't remember which Kirby game, but Samus was in one of them, like where she visited Kirby. The above image is one of the two IPs collaborated. It was for merchandising purposes rather than making a full-on crossover game. I think the closest thing Game Freak would do is make Yoshi a mythical Pokemon in a future gen. That would be so odd, since most of them serve little to no importance in the main plot of their respective gens. You'd eventually end up appearing in a Pokemon movie that crosses over with the Mario series, since Yoshi's a Mario character himself, using the same plot I previously suggested. Okay, so that's the full post there. Like, that's all the posting. Like I said, I like the idea, and I've given my own little separate spiels on what I think would be cool to add in with it. But go ahead and give Pinky Don your thoughts. Like, I've already done that. Hopefully they appreciate the video, because, like, I love this idea. Like, I would really like to see this happen. So you guys give your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you are interested in joining my Discord server, the link is now in the description permanently, so you guys can go ahead and join if you're really interested. Because like, there's a few people in there, but that server has been busy since I opened it. So the more people that want to join in, I'm cool with that. Just come in, be peaceful, don't start trouble. If you start trouble, I might be kicking people out. But that's it. So you guys give me your thoughts. Give Pinky Don your thoughts on this idea, on this crossover, because I find it interesting. Anybody else wants to give me their ideas that they want me to talk about, do it on the Discord server, because it's the only way I'm going to do it. That's the only way I'm going to do it. Like, if you really want me to go over something that you've talked about or whatever, you have to be on the Discord server, because that is the only way I will do it. Because like that, like, to me, I'm going to be talking with everybody on my Discord server anyway. Like, the people in there, like, so far everything's been cool. I have a good time talking to everybody in there. Like, and we communicate back and forth. Like, so, like, that makes it easier to do. Like, and it makes me more willing to do it, because I have a direct line of communication with you that way. Like, and it's not like YouTube comments where, like, yeah, I can go back and forth with you for a little bit, like, but sometimes things get lost when there's a bunch of comments coming in. So, like, the Discord server, I can keep track of everything because it's all together. Like, but that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, please enjoy your games. Peace.